Good morning, good afternoon, or even perhaps good evening, depending on where you are joining us from. Thank you for popping on here today. We're excited, as always, Team Pure Edge, to host our summer series webinars. And this summer series, we're going to be going through a variety of our curriculum options. Let me start a timer, sorry, so I don't run over. So this session number 1 is all about our brain breaks, how to use them, when to use them, what they feel like. We're definitely going to practice some brain breaks. So I think we should go ahead and get started. Just some housekeeping. The chat box is open. So if anybody has a question or a thought or a comment, please feel free to use the chat box. We'll be keeping an eye on that. You can also unmute yourself if you want to talk and share something with us. It looks like we're quite a small group today, so that would also work. But yes, connect with us. We love hearing from you. That makes these webinars a lot more interesting for everyone. So just a quick recap, if you don't know, Pure Edge Inc. is a private operating foundation and we support educators. We also support departments of ed, and we support like-minded organisations. I'm Jill. Perhaps you've met me before, perhaps not. If it's our first time meeting, hi. I'm the Senior Director of Professional Development and Expansion, and I've been with Pure Edge since its inception, which has been a wonderful journey and continues to be a wonderful journey. So I have, quite a large number of years experience with the Pure Edge team. So I thought we'd just quickly start with a little check-in. You can use the chat box. So have a think. Right now, what is your energy level like? If we say that a 1 is a low energy and 5 is like, I'm feeling really energized, I feel really good. And so 2, 3 and 4 are somewhere, in the mid-range. So what do you think? What's your energy level right now on a scale of 1 to 5? So we have a couple of 3s, middle of the road. Rebecca, I think that is a 2. Tish, I think I can see your names. A 3. Oh, Jamie's up there. 4. So we have a variety. There's another 2. And remember, no right or wrong answer. It's just interesting, I think, for us to note how our energy sits throughout the day. So I would say I'm probably a 5 right now. Why? I love doing this. I get energized by hosting webinars and connecting with educators and like-minded organizations, and I find that really gives my energy level a boost. What's nice is to notice your energy level throughout the day and wonder if you might be able to have an impact on whether it's low and you need to raise it or whether it's high and you need to calm down and lower it. All the resources that we share with you today are available on our website. You can scan this QR code to get access. You can just log in pureedgeinc.org, register -new account and set yourself up. Just put in a password. And then that way you'll have access to all the resources that I share with you today. And going forward, if you come to the rest of the sessions in this series, you'll have access to all of those too. So we're going to start with our first brain break. This is a mindful minute. It's a lovely way to start your day, end your day. And it's just generally a good way to reset your brain. So I know you can't see my feet right now, but both feet are firmly planted on the floor. I'm sitting up nice and tall. I don't have a back on my chair, so that just means I can hold my spine nice and tall. And then you choose. Please join me. Your eyes can be open or closed. And if you choose to keep your eyes open, just drop your gaze slightly away from the screen. So what I'd like you to do is, first of all, check your heartbeat. What's your heartbeat doing right now? Is it beating fast or slow? Where do you actually really notice the beat of your heart? Now check in with your breathing. Are you breathing into your abdomen, or are you breathing more around your chest, neck and shoulders? you breathing fast or slow? Pay attention to the breath at your nostrils. Is it warm or cool? And then check in with you. How do you feel right now? See if you can find a word that describes what's going on with you just right in this minute, and notice it. And then just open your eyes. And for a brief moment, I'd like you to notice how you feel. And then feel free to use the chat box. How do you feel? How do you feel right now? Anybody got anything they want to share? Tired? That's okay, Teresa. You're allowed to be tired. Nothing wrong with that. Calm. Yes, Rebecca, you're very observant. Is that your dog snoring? That makes me feel comforted. Yes, that's Gus. I'm not sure if he'll come and say hi. Say hi, Gus. Yes, he likes to attend most of my webinars, and you're right. There's something comforting about a dog. If you're a dog person, grounded, Casey says. Gus, you have to stop snoring now, okay? Okay, but it's just interesting, right, for us to observe how we're feeling. And that's what we hope that Brain Breaks and our Brain Breaks curriculum will help us and our students do. Now, as I go through today's webinar, you will notice that every brain break that I do, the next slide has one that has all the instructions on it. And that's to remind you that when you look at our curriculum, you will have instructions for everything that you choose to do. We also have Brain Breaks cards, and they're just like this. They're little cards you can print off, and it will give you the sequence. Where do you start? What are you going to bring attention to? What words might you use? So it just makes the Brain Breaks curriculum really easy to use. You can pick it up, read the script, deliver the brain break, and get on with the rest of your day. Now, why are we doing all of this? Well, ideally, we hope that brain breaks will help us hit the reset button so that we can become responsive versus reactive, and also so that kids can learn the difference between responsive and reactive. And taking a breath allows us to do that. Now, at Pure Edge, our brain breaks are all centred around 3 simple strategies: breathe, move, rest. And they're all great, and they all serve us differently. There's lots of other things you can do to rest your brain, but that is our ethos: breathe, move, rest. This is a quote by a gentleman named James Nestor, who's been studying human breathing for many years. He has a very good book, and he says the missing pillar in health is breath. It all starts here. And so I think that's interesting to put at the back of your mind. When we do brain breaks, it's really important that we're going to try and teach ourselves and our kiddos nasal breathing, right? So we want to learn to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. A caveat to that might be, if you're teaching very young kids, say K through 2, I think it would be nice to start with a breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And certainly the Brain Breaks curriculum for that age group supports that thought, that first of all, teach how to breathe, and then sort of fine tune it so that those kids, as they grow older, are able to do nasal breathing. So I think without further ado, we should give it a go. Another brain break. This is wonderful. Starfish breathing for our young kids. Take 5 if you're middle school or elementary school level. This is a nice brain break. It's tactile. It gives the kids and ourselves something to focus on, in that we're engaging with our hand. There's connection here. So you make a 5 or a starfish sign with your hand, and you take the index finger of the opposite hand and you place it at the bottom of your thumb. Now what we're going to do is trace around our fingers one way and then back the other way using a nasal breath. Try and stay relaxed and calm in your body, and for this, of course, the eyes are open wide. I want you to watch what's going on. Pay attention, look at your hand and watch your moving finger. So starting with the index finger low, Take a breath in through your nose and raise the finger to the top of the thumb, and then breathe out through your nose and go down the other side. Now, slow, steady breath in. We're now going to the top of the index finger. Exhale through the nose and move the finger down the other side. Middle finger, breathe in. And slowly through the nose, breathe out. Breathe in to the top of the ring finger. And slowly exhale. Relax your face, your neck, your shoulders. We're now on the little finger. Take a breath in. Watch what's happening. Take a breath out, down the outside. Let's go back the way we came, same format. Inhale. And as you go down the other side, exhale. Inhale. And slide down the other side, exhale. Slow breath in to trace to the top of the finger. Slow breath out, down the other side. Index finger, slowly breathe in to the top of the finger. Breathe out, tracing the outside. Breathe in to the top of the thumb. Breathe out, down the other side. Just relax your hand, and for a moment, I'd like you to notice how you feel. And then the chat box is open. Does anybody want to share how they feel? I think if we were to ask Gus how he's feeling, he's a bit frustrated that I'm not paying him much attention. What do you think? How do you feel? More relaxed. Relax, says Linda. Teresa says she's relaxed. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but I think relaxed is a nice feeling, right? To feel relaxed, to feel settled, to feel calm is pretty good. And our busy lives, that's not always achievable, right? Feeling more relaxed. Now, remember, when I ask you how you feel, there's no right or wrong answer. So if actually you hated that and you feel awful and you didn't like it at all, that's okay too, right? It's important as you learn brain breaks and thinking about that for your kids too. They'll like some and not like others, and that's absolutely fine, right? If they say they didn't like something, then they're allowed. And as I mentioned, check the brain breaks card, check the curriculum. You will find all the instructions to guide you through sharing this with your kiddos. Now, our brain breaks are for everyone, right? You can use them anywhere. So depending on what your role is, they work, right? They're tried and tested for a multi-tiered system of support. When to use them, entirely up to you, to be honest. But again, there's no right or wrong time. But these are some of our suggestions. This is where we found them to be very beneficial. So if these are options for you in your workplace, either at arrival time, before testing, always great to settle the mind. Breaks between classes, the afternoon slump, that's me. That's definitely when I need a brain break. And I think departure, thinking about brain breaks before the students go home to reset them from a day of learning into what happens after that day of learning and their home life is a really nice thing to do. When you think about implementation of our brain breaks curriculum, we thought we'd set out some of these tips to make it just really easy for you. Try and establish a consistent routine, right? So if you decide that departure at the end of the day is the best time that works for you, stick with it. Don't chop and change and sometimes do it in the morning or sometimes do it at break, whatever. Try and be consistent with your routine. Simple place to start of day, end of day transition times. There are, too many, 50 something brain breaks in our brain breaks curriculum and in our card deck, but start small. Start with the easiest version that you see in front of you, the easiest breath, the easiest movement, the easiest rest piece, and then build on it. That's good for you, and it's also great for your students. And repetition, there's nothing wrong with teaching your students a mindful minute and doing that every day for a whole term. You don't need to keep mixing things up for the brain breaks to be effective. If you just do the same brain break, that's as good as changing it up. You know, it's just as we become more comfortable with the exercises, you're more likely to try something different. And then to that last one, be comfortable. Pick brain breaks that you yourself love, right? So if it's something you enjoy, that's going to shine through and your kids will enjoy it too. Some educators sent us these pictures. Erin and I were delighted to see these. You do not have to have a calming corner. These brain breaks work with 30 students sitting on their carpets or sitting at their desk just as effectively as they do with a calming corner. But we just wanted you to see how inventive some of your colleagues around the country and around the world have been looking at, you know, places where they can have a calming corner somewhere to integrate these brain breaks. Breathe, we did, check. Move. So we're going to do tree pose, one of my firm favourites, and the kids love it too. Just a side note, sometimes it makes them giggly and silly and crazy and they fall over, and that's okay. Sometimes it makes them competitive. Balancing's just a really good brain break. So everybody, and I can't see you, but I'm hoping that you're joining in. Stand up. Okay, Gus, you have to join me for the brain break now. And I'm going to take my shoes off because that just makes my life a little bit easier. I've got silly flip-flops on, not very good for. Let me see if I can turn this down a little bit. Come on, get up, good boy. There you go. Oh, well, that's not helpful. Okay, so as you can see, I'm standing nice and tall. My feet are hip distance apart, so I've got a nice solid foundation. I'm relaxing my shoulders and I'm drawing in my tummy just a little bit. Let me let Gus out to see if he'll give us some peace. And the important thing to mention before you start any of our movement brain breaks is the breath. The breath stays the same. It's a breath in through the nose and a breath out through the nose, trying to relax the jaw. So let's begin. Relax your shoulders. And pick up your right leg. So picking up your right leg, you put your toe on the floor and you turn your knee out to the side. And I think it's nice here to put your hands on your waist. Exhale fully. Inhale again and decide where you'd like your foot. So it might go low on your calf, or you can keep it on the floor. That also doesn't matter. It might go a little bit higher, or maybe you're somebody who wants to go all out and try taking it all the way up to the top of your leg. Whichever option you choose is just fine. And then stay with your breath and see if you can take your arms over your head. We're going to see if we can stay steady for 3 breaths. Breathe in and out. Breathe in. Now at any time you want to or need to, you can lower the foot or you can tap it on the ground to rebalance. Inhale, exhale. This is a lovely way to learn to balance, allowing the foot to rebalance you and start again. Exhale. One more breath. Inhale and exhale. And your hands down onto your waist. Inhale. And as you exhale, release that right foot down onto the floor. Release your hands and give your legs a little bit of a shake, because if this is something you haven't done in a while, that standing leg might be a little bit tired. And of course, everything you do on the right, you do on the left. So this time it's your left foot that turns out, toe on the floor. Find your breath, hands to the waist. Breathe in and out. And then choose your option. Is your foot going low? Is it staying on the floor? Is it going higher? It doesn't matter. Do what feels nice for you. And then see if you can take your arms over your head and focus on a spot in front of you. Take a slow breath in and out. I'm going to see if I can go a little bit higher. This is my wobbly side. And you'll notice that one side more wobbly than the other. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and breathe out. As you breathe in, start to lower the hands, staying as steady as you can. Remember, tap down anytime you want to. And as you breathe out, release your foot to the floor. Let the hands relax and give the legs a little shake. And for a moment, I'd like you just to notice how you feel. And while you check in with you, I'm going to add in to say, if anybody wants, you can always use a wall for support or the back of a chair, right? As you or your kiddos learn some strength in their balance. So, does anybody want to share? How do you feel? How did that go? I love a balancing brain break. Makes me smile so much. Relax, Tiffany. Great. Who fell over? That usually happens to me the minute I put the camera on, which again makes me smile. And if the kids fall over, embrace that, right? It's okay, they're allowed to fall over. How are we doing for time? Okay, moving on, because so quickly half an hour is scooting away from me. So what we're trying to do here is let ourselves and our students, through the practices of breathing, moving and resting, we're learning again and again and again what it feels like to move through our experiences in a thoughtful, non-reactive way, right? So that difference between response versus react. I just thought this was a fun statistic for you to see. 11 minutes of exercise can reverse the health effects of sitting all day. I think we often think exercise has to be done for 40 minutes or an hour, and it is great. Look, it says it's even better, but small doses of movement have a big impact. Now, when you teach these strategies, teaching the breath is super important. So you want to do everything that I said. You're going to encourage people to sit up tall. You're going to say use nasal breathing, and you're going to say to them that breathing is affecting their nervous system. And you'll find information about that in our curriculum. When you're talking about movement, just as I did there, set your feet hip distance apart. You build the pose from the ground up. You start with the simplest version. All the way through the strategy, you keep reminding everyone to breathe because it's so common for us to get focused on what we're doing, and we hold our breath and bring attention. How did that feel? Every single brain break we've done, I've asked you how you feel. So try and bring attention to the sensations that you or your kids experience when they're doing movement. And rest. Rest doesn't come naturally to kids. We, I think, as adults are quite happy for a minute to take a break, to close our eyes. So kids take longer to settle into rest. It's not intuitive to them. I worked with a school in Houston, and it took a whole term for a 4th grade class to be able to lie on the floor and rest for a few minutes. So some things you can do, lower the lights, and with the little kids, using tools that help them relax, they're good. So if you have a cuddly toy or a breathing ball or something that's useful for them. You will find in our curriculum for every age range an implementation guide to help you get started. So if you're thinking, where do I begin? We've done 4 weeks and what you can do. Week 1, a breathe, move, rest. Week 2, so on and so forth. So that's there for you for all age ranges. The best thing you can do when it comes to brain breaks is model. Model that you do brain breaks. Model why you use them. Model how they make you feel, either good or bad, right? Sometimes that adult modelling in itself is enough for your kids to get on board with the content that you're teaching here. Time for some rest, right? When you're rested, you're able to direct your attention in very deliberate ways. And I chose a rest activity that's restful and interesting. So this is called taking in the good. You can just sit where you are with your eyes closed, or you can put your head on the desk. It's fine, you choose. And again, like all of our strategies, you'll find that the instructions for this activity, as well as all the others, are there for you. So close your eyes or keep them open, but if they're open, drop your gaze away from the screen. Focus on your breath, nasal breathing, slow and steady. And what I'd like you to do is think about one thing from your day so far that you feel good about. Maybe you started the day off well, maybe you engaged with someone, you had a great conversation, somebody made you feel good. It doesn't matter. Think of something good that's happened to you today, and I'm going to check the clock and you're going to hold that memory in your thoughts for the next 30 seconds, starting now. And what I want you to do is remember that feeling and that experience in as much detail as you can, letting your mind really absorb that good moment, that good thing. And then just stay as you are. Don't go anywhere. Just take a few more breaths and do it one more time. Can you find another good thing about your day? Or if you're only starting your day in Pacific time, think about yesterday. Did something good happen to you yesterday? What do you feel good about that happened yesterday? And once again, you're going to hold that memory and re-experience it for the next 30 seconds. Starting now. And then if your eyes were closed, just open them. And as with all the other brain breaks, take a moment just to notice how you feel. And if anybody feels like sharing, I'd love to hear. Was it nice to be reminded of something that happened that felt good? Tiffany feels happy. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Sometimes we forget to focus on some of the good things that have happened in our day, and instead we get tied up in the negative things or the things that made us sad or anxious. So it's a lovely way to remind ourselves of the little golden moments that occur in our day. So just remember that when you're taking in the good, you're focusing on good that has happened or already, that is happening or has already happened. It's we're not trying to make out that everything's going to be all jolly and great just by taking in the good, but it does have an impact on our central nervous system, right? So does anybody, oh yeah, we have only a couple of minutes left. Does anybody have any questions, any thoughts, any observations? Please feel free to use our chat box. I'm happy to answer any questions. Erin is with me today co-hosting, and she's also happy to answer any questions, so please. Hopefully I managed to give you enough information that you feel ready to hit play. Is there a replay? Yes, this session was being recorded. You get a follow-up email. I need to double check the recording might be added to that. If not, we usually upload our webinars onto our website. Typically that will be at the end of the series, Carrie, so keep your eye open for that. We also have a YouTube channel now, so It'll also definitely be added to the Pure Edge YouTube channel. You can sign up for that. You'll also see our brain breaks on there. Anything else? Any other thoughts, questions, observations? Oh, there's something in the Q&A box. Sorry, Lucy, I'm just seeing this. Yes, we actually have all of our brain breaks card decks in Spanish already translated. So you don't need subtitles. We already have those resources available in Spanish. Okay, well, if nobody has anything else, that just leaves me to say thank you for joining us. I hope you found that beneficial. Until the next time, this will be same time, Wednesday next week with Erin. Take care, take self-care, take a few breaths, and toodle pip.